Okay, so the stream is obviously up, the post is on, and posting the streaming link. Voila, excellent. Things seem to be working okay as I just stare at my inventory. Alright, cool. So this is basically me talking about the current incorporation of Crosscrowns in Xbox Live, since the plan is for Crossout to implement it across a couple of the other systems as well. So to that end, I am going to be attempting to do timestamps for easy reference in the past. For the sake of responding to questions when inevitably people keep asking the same question over and over again. So the reason why I'm making this video is because, like many other people, I have rather strong opinions about this, and I felt like the text post answers across the subreddit and forum thread weren't exactly comprehensive, just due to the fact of them spanning multiple pages and in some cases across multiple websites. So to that end, doing this, figured it'd be good. Some people were asking for visuals, and I figured actually showing the workflow process for it could also probably work pretty well. So I will basically take through the brief history of it, to my knowledge, which is rather limited, admittedly, and then actually go through the process, what you can do with them, what the limitations are, etc. So. Okay, so for Crown history, they were a thing when I started playing consistently about a year ago, and I believe they were also a thing when I first tried the game in 2017. I could be completely wrong about that. According to Sigma920 on the forums and Reddit, they were originally introduced as a way to limit people's ability to buy things with coins, when there was some market shenanigans where you could duplicate coins, and was causing some issues with being able to apparently also buy packs with them, as well as being problematic for, of course, just introducing a shit ton of money to the economy. So the implementation of them thus far has been primarily, I think actually solely cosmetic. So they are effectively a secondary currency, a hard currency. You have to buy them with real money, and the usage of them is primarily cosmetic, although you can also buy boosts and coins with them directly. So that was honestly an extremely short history. So to go over the workflow. There you go. So basically, and mind you, I'm Canadian, so everything's going to be printed there. So the only way that you can get them is via buying them through the store. So for instance, because I am a Canadian, these prices are in Canadian. I believe, for instance, the battle pass is about $10 USD, and I believe I can't see anything else that looks like easy math. But in any case, everything is cheaper in US dollar prices, of course. So basically, you can buy Crosscrowns for real money. So in this case, it is $129 for 1,500 Crosscrowns. And then, of course, you can buy packs which have varying degrees of coins in them, but there's no other way to get crowns. So some people on PC will point out that Crossout DB actually tells you the value of a pack and its items and compares that to if it would be better not to buy coins directly. So we do have a option as well of buying coins, quote unquote, kind of, via buying the packs. You can buy the booster, for instance, with real life money as well, or you can buy with Crosscrowns after you buy. So I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to actually open up a Excel doc just to store these values so that it's a little bit easier for or an Excel spreadsheet, workbook, whatever. Just so it's easier to kind of compare what the values are. And again, this is Canadian. This isn't necessarily going to be exactly what it ends up being on PC or PlayStation once incorporated either. But if I say, so 30 days of premium is, for instance, about $10 Canadian. Buying Crosscrowns is 1,500 Crosscrowns for $30-ish Canadian. And then of course there's packs, which aren't really the core focus of this, but of course you're going to be able to buy coins, quote unquote, via that, or you're going to be able to get coins, by buying the battle pass, which then also gives you coins throughout the battle pass in the premium tier as well as at the final level. So like you get, what is it, 1, 2, I think like 6, 8, 10, 1,000, whatever coins for going up to level 72, and then for every level after that you'd get coins as well if you bought the premium pass, which you may note I did not. I say as I have the screen shut again. Excellent. And open that up. Alright, so yeah, so basically you could get coins indirectly by buying packs and by buying battle pass, or I say directly-ish, but you could also buy crowns and then buy coins. So, yeah, so 1,500 crowns wouldn't give you the 10,000 coin tier. It would at best give you the like 5,000 plus 2,500 for 1,500. So as has been pointed out by other people, this is probably actually like almost guaranteed very likely purposeful, so that they convince you to buy multiple of the larger packs so you have some left over, so that you have to buy, for instance, if you want to get 20,000 coins and you can only buy them in increments of 1,500 Crosscrowns, or sorry, if you wanted the best bang for your buck rather for coins for crowns rather than being able to go and just buy 2,000 crowns, you'd be looking at, in theory, buying 1,500 crowns 4 times and then getting 30,000 coins in game. So you could do that. That'd be about $300, and that'd give you basically like 1 relic in game, just as an example. As far as comparison to being able to buy stuff indirectly, because you can also buy premium and season stuff in here, which is somewhat interesting. So buying the 30 days of premium was $10 Canadian. Buying 30 days of premium here is, I'm actually just going to use the most efficient examples actually. So rather than just doing a direct comparison, if you were buying and again this is Canadian dollars, if you're buying premium for just in the store directly, you'd be getting 30 days for $10 Canadian, so about 3 days per Canadian dollar. If you bought the 1,500 crown pack and then bought 360 days of premium, you'd be looking at basically $130 times 2/3 of the value of that pack that you bought, which is 86.6 repeating, and then you'd be getting the 360 days for it, which ends up being about 4 1/6 days per coin. So it ends up being more practical to buy a year of premium subscription via buying 1,500 Crosscrowns worth with real money and then buying the year of premium subscription, but this is probably not a surprise. And if this, which does sometimes drop, I don't know what the value is. I want to say it was maybe 50% off, but I think it was actually like 25% off. Be able to obviously increase the value there as well. So if you did 30 days for $130 to buy 1,500 crowns, you'd be able to buy 12.5 months if it were totally lost my train of thought. I'm also not really doing you guys any justice by doing this off screen. What was I saying? So if premium subscription is 25% off, it would be 90 coins. Sorry, 90 Crosscrowns. And that would allow you to get almost a year and a half of premium subscription. And if we look at 16.66667 times 30 days in average month, so that's about 500 days. 500 days divided by $130 Canadian would be 3.85 days per dollar spent of premium. So with 25% off, it is still worse than just buying a full year. If it is 50% off, then it would be 25 months. 25 times 30 days is 750 days. And if you had 750 days for $130 Canadian, you'd be getting almost 5 3/4 days of premium per dollar spent. But in any case, so that's a comparison. In any case, all of those are still vastly better than just buying the premium directly. So of course they are definitely, if you're interested in buying premium, they're definitely trying to get you to buy coins. And I don't think you can actually buy 120 coins directly for that pack. You'd be looking at spending the $4-ish Canadian plus the $8-ish, or using the, you know, pack size above it. So again, not very cash money. Just always allowing things to be bought, but not in the exact amount of units that you want, so you know, overspend and always have a little bit left over, which isn't really enough to do a whole lot afterwards. So fun, what is, I think, exemplified by me having one Crosscrown coin, one Crosscrown left. So the other thing you can use Crosscrowns for on top of the coins, which, like I said, does end up being more efficient than the premium ended up being more efficient than just buying premium directly for money. Interesting to note, I'm not actually sure what the coin value ends up being, because this is about, for simplistic math, I'm just going to say about $200 for 10,000 coins, and you can definitely get way more than 10,000 coins if you spent $200 on packs. But you'd have to wait for a pack sale. Coin sales have never occurred while I've played on Xbox, so over the past year and a couple months now, they've always been consistently priced, whereas pack sales happen pretty frequently. So yeah, we also are kind of hurt by lack of not having a Crossout DB, and I'm not even sure if packs give the expected value. Yeah, no, if you have your own blueprints, you can see approximately how much they'd cost to make, although it does ignore fused items, which is extremely annoying. But I can't do that with these guys unless I like assemble the car and then see what it is based off of just the parts that are included, not, you know, the parts I don't have. So it'd be kind of hard to do that, but in any case, you would be better off if you're just trying to turn money into coins, real money into coins. You'd definitely be better off just doing pack sales, waiting for the 50% off and then buying some of the larger ones. All right, so the last use, and this is kind of the lightest monetization side of things, like non-power, non-affecting anything in-game really directly other than aesthetic. Use of the coins is for customization. So there are a few items that are purchasable for coins currently. So the 6 special tier CKs for cabins, as well as the wooded pack. These 7 items specifically have been here for, once again, over a year. I will probably end up just snagging them before they do the rework, because it sounds like their plans are to incorporate a rotating system of which cosmetics are available. But in any case, the remainder of these are all for crowns. So for instance, I bought the Lord of War pack when it came back. So it was, I bought 70 crowns for whatever it was, like $8, $12. And then the pack was 69 crowns, so I have a single crown left, which is obviously somewhat annoying and definitely on purpose. And then anytime there are limited time sales on Xbox, those are also crown exclusive. So for instance, if I go into the market and I look for decor items, any of the ones from the aesthetic packs are restricted to this. So for instance, they're not even tradable, so they're not going to show up here. Something I think would be probably the best way to show this. So if I go to the exhibition and I try and pull up any of the pack items. So for instance, there's the 4 thematic packs that happened a few months ago. They had like one that was based off of like knights, one that was based off of some sort of Japanese Asian influence. Alright, well, I'm just going to change the screen that I'm actually sharing real quick here, just to make things a lot easier. Okay, so that should be showing there. There we go. Excellent. Cool. So these were just the calculations I had in the values. So I'm not going to worry too much about it because it was just basically a spreadsheet. But effectively, the things I was talking about, the values I was calculating was this. So if you buy 30 days of premium directly in the store, it's $10 Canadian. You end up getting 3 days per Canadian dollar spent. I didn't actually use this as like an equal because units are a thing. If you buy 1,500 Crosscrowns, it's about $130 Canadian. If you spend that money on a year of premium, which is 1,000 crowns, so 2/3 of 1,500, then you'll be getting those values effectively. Like that's how much money you'd be spending for the year premium, and then for a year of it, 360 days. That's basically the efficiency of it. Likewise with if you bought 30 days when it was 25% off, so it's 90 coins, you'd be getting 500 days and it would be costing you, or you'd be getting that many days at the discounted rate per Canadian dollar spent. Likewise for 50% off for the premium, which would be 60. So I'm going to exit out of this because I don't think that this is going to be important for anything else. Now if I pull up the packs I was talking about, wow, that was way older than a few months. That was November last year. Yeah, these guys. Excellent. Okay. So penalty pack was available for real purchase on all platforms, to my knowledge. So this is not actually kind of relevant to what I was talking about. But for instance, the decor packs were available for the in-game store for PC and PS4. And via Xbox, they were available for... this yeah, so there's 4 packs. You can buy them for coins, except on Xbox, in which case you spent crowns. So for instance, I mean, I'm sure people are probably going to mention it here. Well, people are mentioning lots of things. Yeah, they were on Xbox, but they were for Crosscrowns. So let me see if I can find the actual article. If it links it here. Nope. So example for here. So this was the pack available in February. I imagine it's for this year. Yeah, excellent. So it was available only for Crosscrowns. So for instance, if I open the game back up again, actually what are the parts? They don't actually tell me, but I have a workaround for this. So if I go into the collection of all horns that somebody so graciously put together, then it will include that horn, this one from the Valentine's Day pack, which is called Give Me a Hug, and you'll note that this is not tradable. So that's the same with all the other decor packs that were released for Crosscrowns. You cannot trade for any of them. Any normal pack is completely tradable. So for instance, like the pack that I bought had all these items which are tradable. I have some fused or untradable variants from some other things, but the pack gave me tradable parts. Whereas the decor packs are all untradable items. So for instance, the stuff from the Lord of War pack, the Baron banner for instance, is untradable. So even if I unlock it, there's no option to trade it. Because again, it's only available for Crosscrowns. Likewise with the bandolier, the ammo belt, you'll see that they don't have the trade option locked. They just don't have the option at all. Yeah, so that extends to any of the other packs. So for instance, if I open up one of the, if I can even find one of the other packs. Be cool if they tell me what the packs are called. Can't remember what the pack is called. These are actual vehicle packs. This. Yeah, they talk about them being planned, but then they don't actually have the post of it being released, do they? If we continue scrolling on the newsfeed, though, we might eventually come across them. Other than if it's, you know, just not included here. Alright. What is this? What are you? Gothic pack? Decor pack. Crossout. There we go. Finally, shit. Okay. Took long enough. Decor packs, decor pack. There we go. Appearance items. Okay, excellent. So it has decor item Morningstar, and if I go into the game and I search on exhibition for anything that includes the Morningstar, then again, this is a non-tradable item. So anything from those decor packs are non-tradable. It kind of makes sense to a certain degree with the CKs, of course. I think the paints are actually a exception because you can get these paints via other methods, so you could craft them during some events. So it doesn't actually let me do more parameters, but I know that if I go into the market and do the Teutonic, yeah, when these paints are available for trade, that is not because they are in the shop, that is in spite of them being in the shop because they've been released in other places. So I suspect once they get the rotating systems working, then we're going to stop seeing outdated ones. Like I said, these paints have all been here since, like, I played a year-ish ago. I might actually be wrong. They may have added some more, but I know that they haven't removed any since I started playing a year ago, and some of them are available for purchase or crafting from other events or packs or whatnot, whereas the CKs don't really have that flexibility. So once these are rotating, then I suspect we will only see items that are non-tradable, that are only obtainable via the CK customization store. So likewise, as somebody was mentioning before, it is possible to buy the permanently discounted item pack of a CK for the Firebug and the Harvester. It is interesting to note that you can already get a Harvester CK if you were around during the Christmas event, the gift container. You could select it. I'm not going to do that because if anything, I would want the Reaper CK, and I'm just hesitant on like spending these crates in general. Maybe somebody else has already tried, would be able to say. I know that somebody mentioned that originally when Crosscrowns were introduced, if you had multiple CKs, it would let you exchange the others for another one randomly, or of your choice maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would happen to this pack if I got the Hitorigami. I don't know if it would be discounted, I don't know if it would stay the same price and just only give me the CK Centipede, I don't know if it would give me a duplicate and then the Hitorigami would be exchanged for something else. But in any case, because I don't have any intention on buying Crosscrowns in order to try, nor do I want to use the container, I don't have any expectations or plans to do that. So that is kind of at a high level Crosscrowns. So of course, if anybody has any questions, I'm just going to check the Reddit page, post thing, although I doubt anybody has any. None so far. Excellent. Yeah, so that's kind of all of the use cases and the limitations of the Crosscrowns. So some people were asking, like, can you exchange these items? No. Are you going to be able to buy things that are available with Crosscrowns? Like I said, unless they give it out like a Hitorigami, or if it's just a ridiculously old paint sale option that you're able to just get via other packs, yes, but otherwise those are the exception and not the rule. You can pretty much expect anything in the store, at least for the sake of, you know, Xbox, is not obtainable otherwise unless they give them out during like those event containers. So rather limiting. It's a hard paywall, as others have said. There's really no way around it. You effectively have to spend real money for this stuff, or wait for them to just, you know, give them out. Yeah, so I can kind of talk about, since I do have a little bit of game design experience, kind of talking about the, not the implications, but the potential effects or thoughts or whatnot as a result of this in a way, and whatever, just on a slightly more positive note. And of course, again, if anybody has questions, more than willing to answer those. Okay, so sort of a meta thing from like a design perspective. Most games do have a hard currency and a soft currency being something that you can earn in game and spend and do whatever with. And then a hard currency being something that you can, you know, only get via spending real money. Sometimes there's promotions or contests or whatnot that I'll give them. In some senses, you can kind of look at basically any resource as sort of a barter item or a currency of some sort, insofar as they have uses and they have intrinsic value for stuff. But for the sake of actual like market processes, the soft currency is through and through the credits. So it's basically used for anything there. They're used for tax when you make workbenches. They're the ones that are free. And for instance, since Xbox added a new thing, this is definitely unrelated to this entire like video, but basically Xbox made sorry, back up. Beforehand, if you wanted to play video games online, if you wanted to talk in party chats with others, basically if you want to use any online services of Xbox, you had to pay an Xbox Live subscription. As of a couple of months ago, Xbox Live Gold, the Xbox Live subscription, is no longer necessary for playing with other users or playing a online free-to-play game, nor to talk in a party. So those are both now free to do. As a result, I don't know if it was a mandate by Microsoft, or if Crossout went out of their way to implement it, or if it was just a strong suggestion by Microsoft, or if they gave any sort of like money back or whatever. But in any case, Crossout implemented because live is now optional, you now get some benefits for having live, which is namely a 15 coin challenge per day, which I don't think is even going to show up in this list. Yeah, because it doesn't, because it's a daily challenge. But you get a 15 coins per day reward for having the quote-unquote subscription, the Xbox Live subscription. Oh, and I definitely am going to let that burn out, unfortunately. Wowza. Talk about poor timing. Feels bad. Okay, might have to do some PvP games here very soon. But in any case, so there's some benefits with Xbox Live Gold, which namely is just cheaper crafting on benches. So not really a big deal until you get into like the legendary crafting, in which case you do save 25% on it, which is pretty neato. Again, not like a huge deal, but you know, saving money is cool. I think that's literally the only two benefits. But they're benefits, they're free things nonetheless. Well, not free, but they're just included in having Xbox Live Gold, which I pay for anyway, so, you know, not complaining. Cool, so I think what I'm going to do is, since I have a scant few minutes left of premium, I'm going to queue up while I continue talking about the design perspectives of this. So some games will not have a hard currency at all. So just to go back to what I was talking about before, the tangent on Xbox Live Gold. So for instance, the Crosscrowns and credits weren't both currencies on PC and PlayStation up until now. So the hard currency was kind of Crosscrowns, but it was also a soft currency. So it is effectively a soft currency that you could spend real money to obtain rather than buying it as a byproduct of buying packs or premium or whatnot. So was available in that manner. When I played Warframe, which was a year or so, a couple years ago now at this point, and like I do have 3,000 hours plus in the game. It's not like I'm not familiar with it. I just have taken a break from it. But in case, they had Platinum, which was their hard currency, kind of a hard, yeah, no, it was a hard currency again. So it was only something that you could obtain via purchases. So you could, you know, spend real money, get Platinum, buy packs or whatever for it. But you also had the ability to trade for it on the market. So it was very much like the system that PC and PlayStation had, where you could effectively earn the currency by just trading with other users. Whereas Crosscrowns are going to be non-tradable. You aren't going to be able to get them via any method other than spending real money, or at least that's been the history so far on Xbox. And so it's somewhat limiting, of course, because if you're not a free-to-play user, then you're kind of hooped insofar as you're not going to be able to get any of those rad decor packs, which is obviously unfortunate for the sake of anybody who wants to get some of those rad decor packs. And I'm going to invite. It's funny, I actually have the overlay working, and the overlay is not showing in the stream, even though the like tabs definitely were after the fact. Oh, hello. That's what I get for opening the game, I guess. There we go. I'll choose disconnecting because live on PC has problems. Wait. Let's see if it is. There we go. So I am currently streaming because I don't know if you saw, I think I posted it in the news or the Discord channel, but as of today, it has been announced, I guess by Gaijin, the publishers, that Crosscrowns are going to be implemented on PlayStation and PS4, rather than having them get taken away from Xbox. They're adding them to the other platforms, so it's all going to be equitable, but in possibly the least cool manner. So,
big yikes. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I know some people were kind of asking about what Crosscrowns actually meant because, of course, they hadn't seen it on their platforms before. So some people were answering via, like, you know, on the forums or on the subreddit, and I just decided to do this sort of stream video thing if anybody had any questions, and sort of have like a comprehensive like video which kind of answers everything in one place rather than having to, you know, talk about the different pages and whatnot. So yeah, so I finished talking about the uses of it, which is like primarily you know, the decor packs, which is kind of the saddest thing that you can't buy aesthetics with it. I was just kind of talking about like comparing it to other games and other systems and why, like, from a design perspective, they may have implemented it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to keep on rambling about that to a non-existent audience. You can obviously feel free to join in on that discussion if you'd like. And then otherwise, I'm good to do raids.
Sweet, yeah, sounds like it.
With my premium ending in 3 minutes and 50 seconds, lol.
Uh-oh. We can make it in. Just cross the time with that. Doing my best.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, kind of sucks that you were late today because didn't get the raids done during the bonus. But at the same time, like I said, I was doing this video anyway. So I mean, like, there's other stuff to keep me occupied. We Gucci. Cool, and I should be ready anymore. So in the case of Warframe, you can use it for once again with effectively a free market. It does have tax, just like Crossout as a gold sing, but otherwise a free market where you can buy and sell anything with other users that are, you know, not trade restricted. There is the ability to buy cosmetics with platinum, and there is the ability to rush crafting with platinum. And then additionally, and I don't know if this is Xbox specific because I haven't looked on PC or PlayStation, or I wasn't really a part of the subreddit or community or anything for it, for Warframe, but you can spend real money and get exclusive. So there's some like cosmetics that you have to spend real money on, and again, those are not tradable in game. And there's some item variants that are technically only available via purchasing that as well, but it's again primarily just a cosmetic change. But in any case, that was kind of how they rolled, whereas Crossout is kind of going all in on anything that is cosmetic is now apparently going to cost real money, and that obviously kind of sucks for the sake of anybody who wants to, you know, do quote-unquote fashion or making cars or making things pretty in the game, because you're now extremely handicapped. So for instance, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, we had like the 4 decor packs that came out at the same time, and then we've had a couple packs since then, including paint packs, where the items are not tradable, and you're only able to get them via spending real money, which kind of sucks if you want those items, because you get the choice of spending real money or not getting them at all. So as far as reasons to incorporate, so those are kind of just reasons it sucks. Like, I'd love to have options to be able to do stuff otherwise, even if it has like a ridiculous exchange rate. Just because I can gain infinite amounts of coins, I can't gain infinite amounts of Crosscrowns because it costs real money, and I don't care to spend a whole lot of money. And I definitely don't care to spend hundreds of dollars for the sake of getting a few packs for a few cosmetic items. In any case, exclusives themselves aren't inherently like bad or cosmetics. Being paid is probably some of the like least dark side monetization / quote-unquote evil monetization they could do. Now, some people are being, I would consider them being rather alarmist unnecessarily here, where they're saying that like as a result of the implementation of cosmetics being crown only now means that they might end up eventually having items be only purchasable with Crosscrowns. So one of the people who did videos about it earlier today, I think the name is or whatever, bet, I mean, I don't know how official it is, but they said they bet 50 euros that they're going to have a non-cosmetic item, i.e. being able to buy power for real money only. And I would definitely be interested in taking that up because that just sounds like free money. That dude's going to get fucking bankrupt. he actually falls through on that. But anyway, so far there hasn't been any indication of that on Xbox, at least. It's just all been cosmetic, and that's, like, again, not bad. Whenever you have, like, actual, like, hardcore pay to win where you have to spend real money to get a, like, power advantage over others, especially in a rather competitive game like Crossout, that obviously becomes extremely problematic. That does not seem to be the route they're going so far. They absolutely could. I really think they're smarter than that, but maybe they aren't. Maybe they get a little more interested in the money. But in any case, it isn't inherently bad as a design principle, but it does suck ass for anybody who was there when it wasn't the only way to get those cosmetics, and now in the future it's like, oh look, another cosmetic pack, but unlike all the prior ones, I'm not able to get it unless I spend real money. So it kind of feels like not a bad design idea for, say, new players who, like, never knew anything different, but it's just, it's effectively a straight nerf for anybody who was there beforehand. And like I said, the implementation of temporary crafting for Battle Pass legendaries is the exact same way. Like, it's not necessarily a bad idea in and of itself for what it encourages, and, you know, it makes things a little bit more interesting and prestigious rather than the sort of collect them all mentality that you have, that you can have very easily with this game otherwise. But the fact that we didn't have that as a system for, you know, 2 years and then them implementing it just kind of sucks, because it's, like I said, it's literally just straight worse than what we had before for no apparent benefit other than potentially getting them more money. So yeah, that's I posted the forum link, Regan. It is getting kind of spicy. People are not fans of it, and as people are pointing out, PC already has to contend with price corridors, which kind of sucks that they have price corridors making coin gain and use more difficult, and now they're also going to have Crosscrowns as the only method of getting decor. So I don't envy the PC player base. Now on the other hand, for, like, you know, like for, like, credit to them though, like, it is something that could potentially maybe, and again, this is something that the video person I'm referring to, and I'll put the link in this description because it's kind of definitely vaguely referring to something I don't concretely remember the video maker of, and I definitely like to credit them appropriately. But they mentioned something about crossplay. I don't think that was something that was mentioned in the post or by the devs at all thus far. Just like they've said, they have no crossplay, no plans for crossplay. But in any case, if they are normalizing the economy systems via having Crosscrowns as a hard currency on all platforms and credits, coins, whatever, as their soft currency on all platforms, it does open the way to potentially making a, you know, single ecosystem, a single economy, and thus a single community if they ever had cross-platform. It was actually one of the points I was thinking of when I mentioned it a couple times. I've never actually made it, but just a proposal on the reasons why crossplay would benefit Crossout. And I'm not going to hijack this video in order to discuss it, but effectively, you know, if you got rid of Crosscrowns on Xbox, then we could have the same economy as PC and PlayStation once all the inflation and shit is figured out. Then all platforms would benefit from Crossout DB because it would just be one market. They'd be a larger community altogether, etc., 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 etc. But in any case, they kind of went the opposite route, where again they incorporated Crosscrowns on all 3 platforms. But in any case, it does potentially maybe make crossplay more viable. Now, are they going that route? I've got no idea. Like I said, they haven't said anything even like remotely alluding to it. It would be super cool. I'm a huge proponent of it. But despite it being mentioned in that video, I don't recall there being any announcements or plans of announcements for them to actually, you know, do that. So, what else? What are other good parts of the implementation of this? I think that might be it. Like I said, I mean, if they do end up making non-cosmetic things included, that's going to be like a huge balancing power creep concern, pay to win concern problem. If they make packs only purchasable with the Crosscrowns as an intermediary currency, that's also going to be a problem. That being said, that's not how it works on Xbox. As I showed at the very beginning of the video, you can buy the packs, the vehicle packs, with real money. You can't buy them with Crosscrowns, nor do you get Crosscrowns from the pack. So there's that limitation there. Now they could change it, and that would suck. I know people are saying for the reasons of authorization for distribution on PlayStation and Xbox consoles, they have to go through a vetting, a QA process, and it's possible, I don't think anybody knows either way, it's possible that having an intermediary currency allows them to change what's on the storefront and what's available without having to go through certification for each item, because you aren't changing what's available in the store, quote unquote. You always have just the currency available, and then you're changing what you can use the currency on as quote unquote in-game goods. Again, I don't know if they're planning on going that route. I don't know if there are really any benefits for going that route other than them just being able to release packs on all platforms simultaneously, which again is something that could point towards crossplay or would be useful for crossplay. It would definitely be something where they could kind of be more scummy about it, I guess, and have like the flash sales of like one day a pack is like 80% off or something, so everybody like cracks out the good old credit cards for, you know, the ability to get the pack for ridiculously cheap for that one day period, and then like turn it off the next day, which I think is not only a lot harder for certification process, but I don't even know if Microsoft will clear you allowing to do a one-day sale. They might frown upon that. They might have a limited amount of time something has to be available for. I think every sale thus far for Crossout in the store has been at least a week, and I think every sale I've seen for like anything in Xbox has been at least a week, or like a weekend, so Friday through Monday, 4 days, when a game has like a free weekend or free trial. So I don't know if Microsoft has any sort of systems in place for preventing like FOMO tactics, or if people are all just like using the same standard and all behaving the same. I don't know. The fact that it seems pretty consistent seems like it would maybe be pointing towards the former, but I honestly couldn't say for sure because I'm, you know, not a part of Microsoft certification process, nor do I really have any experience with that, because even just my QA thing was not as part of the, you know, that team. So any other positives come to mind, Regan? All the positives I can think of are just like, well, it could be worse, and that's not really a good thing.
Pretty much sums it up, yeah.
I mean, like I said, the potential of crossplay, but if they don't care and aren't aiming towards crossplay, then this is, again, just like a straight negative for no discernible benefit.
Yeah, I definitely hope it is for crossplay in the future, but guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a timestamp for the video saying this is effectively the quote-unquote Q&A/5/the raids period, because I think not only is 50 minutes of talking probably an adequate amount of coverage for this topic, but I don't really think there's a whole lot more to say about it, so if anybody has any other questions about it, you can probably just ask if they haven't been covered. If they have, I might refer to some earlier in the video. But I can also probably answer them now that I don't have anything else on my mind to talk about. So I will have timestamp for... There you go, excellent. So as an aside, I wonder if, I know I mentioned it a couple times, and I don't mean to spread like, you know, FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, the whole bad shebang that people actually get banned for. But it's interesting because they definitely seem to be going more with the, like, I don't want to say scare tactics, damn it, I did not mean to use it, but like the FOMO tactics sort of stuff. like, I'm wondering if they are moving towards doing crossplay, or if they're going towards darker size monetization because they see like the community or the game dwindling or whatnot, and they're just trying to like milk people while they can before it gets shut down or something. You know, like I don't want to say that that's like the case or that I think it is or anything, but like all of these changes recent, other than like gameplay balancing, but all of the like market changes or pack changes or like battle pass changes recently have all been kind of apparently aiming at getting people to spend money on stuff for benefits they had beforehand. Even if you look at like reload boosting, which, you know, was originally available on engines, and now you had to do a battle pass, then you had to grind levels for the battle pass in order to get the blueprint to make it. Like that all kind of points towards them being, you know, trying to like attempting to get people to spend more money. And I know people say, oh, video game devs greedy and whatnot, and like I don't inherently disagree. Like I said, the biggest rip, I think, is not that these policies are in place, but rather they are implementing them after other policies which are more to the user's apparent benefit are being implemented. So if you're doing things that are attempting to, you know, I don't want to say extort, but get additional money out of people, and lots of people are being very vocally upset about it, if you're doing it with being in mind that the game is being sunset, or that you don't care about a dwindling population number, that sort of behavior would not only make sense, but be sort of expected, where you're trying to rely more and more on a few whales to continue carrying the game as more and more other casual players and spenders quit, right? Hashtag not a dev, hashtag not a psychologist, hashtag not a economist, but if I were wanting to go that route, I might perform similarly to how they have.
Sorry. Yeah, like on the flip side, it could be that their numbers are up. Let's monetize. Don't know if that makes it better or worse, but you know.
Well, and like hella confirmation bias, but like I did do those polls, and the majority of answers by not a small margin, I think it was 90% on the first one and like 60% on the second one. For, once again, subreddit, so you're looking at a lot of young, mid-class gamers effectively being on Reddit. That is effectively their target demographic. I think like 90% of users are under the age of 30 or something like that. It's pretty crazy. In any case, Reddit is a very, very tight niche of people, generally speaking. And it might just so happen that a lot of young, you know, middle-class gamers prefer using reload weapons. I don't know. But in any case, when I asked about the reload weapon changes, as well as when I asked about the blueprint changes, people were rather heavily skewed against it. And again, maybe it's, you know, just the people who are against it felt like voting and other people didn't, or maybe the people who are more likely to agree with the new changes just aren't on Reddit, or whatever hundreds of other potential reasons it is. I don't know. But like, it does seem like people are kind of getting more and more fed up with it, more so than people are welcoming these changes, you know? And I'm pretty sure if you did a poll right now, there would be probably close to 0 people wanting this change. Because you can make whatever arguments you want about being able to profit off of flipping legendaries when a battle pass sale ends. You can, you know, say whatever about having reload modules be their own separate module rather than tied to like an engine, which makes more sense to have mobility perks, whatever. But I don't think I've seen a single person say, oh, this sounds cool, I now have to spend real money for cosmetics. Like, there's no upside to it, like I said. So I suspect it would be, if anybody out there is interested in doing that poll, or interested in the results, you could probably get a lot of really juicy free karma off of the Crossout community, because I guarantee you it would be a very slanted poll, and there'd be a lot of discussion about it one-sided. I honestly don't know if you'll get any sincere answers for people supporting it, other than like maybe the devs, although they haven't been dropping by frequently in the Reddit recently. Actually, I have a side story about that, which I'll talk about later. Or like just people trolling, or saying get good or whatever. I'm a whale and it doesn't affect me. You know, like I don't know if anybody will get any sincere responses on it not being complete suck ass. So as for the aside, it's actually interesting because you may recall the community manager for Gaijin, the publisher, Carrie Shark, does contests every now, or well, I guess not her, but the publisher / developer, whatever, does contests every now and then on the subreddit, and she like posts them, right? And it's interesting because one of those types is caption the following image, and it's generally like a in real life image of like a car, or sometimes it's like a build in game, like a guitar with a bunch of ducks on it, or whatever. And then the winner gets 250 coins or whatever. It's interesting because the image they chose was literally an image that somebody had posted 4 days earlier with the caption, and it was you can look it up if you want, but it's the image of a like vehicle that's just missing like one panel of like, I guess, paneling around one of its hubcaps, and they said when you're at 80 parts, or when your build needs 81 parts or whatever it is. So in my eyes, somebody already literally answered that question with what the best response is based off of it having like 100 or so upvotes like 4 days earlier. And yet not only were they either not aware or purposefully chose to ignore the fact that the image had already been posted, but they posted a contest of that exact same image 4 days later. So I don't know if maybe they're not monitoring the subreddit very much at all. I don't know if they had chosen it about a week ago, the image about a week ago, and they just decided to, it was greenlit and they just decided to go through with it rather than changing it last minute and then sending it back for reviews. I don't know if they were aware of that other image and just chose to ignore it. I've got no clue. But it's interesting because it seems to indicate that they're not paying attention to the community. And obviously, like, it was just a meme. It's not like they're ignoring, or it's not like I'm accusing them of ignoring extremely big, important dealios that people are bringing up and yelling about and whatnot. But like, just like have a contest about an image that somebody already captioned 4 days ago seems like so blind, you know? Like, I don't know. It doesn't reflect well in any case, I guess you'd say. It's interesting too because the devs do have the ability to reply on the forums directly to questions. So you know how like forums will normally have their thing, and then like people can reply and they can edit their own posts and whatnot. And I don't know if you've seen Regan on the forums, but if a developer replies to a person, it like encloses it in their message as a, like, it says reply from, you know, developer blah 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 blah, which is a very cool system rather than having the developers have to, you know, make more comment chains and like further dilute the conversation and push things across multiple pages. But they can do that, and I have seen them do it in the past, but pretty much anything that people have been vocally against recently, so all three of those changes I mentioned, there's been 0 replies from them. And now I don't frequent the forums, I don't generally check on people's opinions on stuff, so it's completely possible they're still using that reply function on other on like other threads, and maybe they just don't want to, you know, try and converse with people who are obviously very angry and mob-like and you know, pitchfork and torch-like, and I can completely understand and respect that. It's just another interesting side note. Yeah, so I yeah, like I said, I can't pretend to know how the developers view us, especially because, I mean, technically we're probably not even their primary audience, right? Like, none of their job postings are actually listed in English. It says, you know, we're always looking for more people, feel free to send us a resume. It isn't until you go onto their Russian website, which makes sense, they're a Russian company, both of them, the publisher and the developer. They're both located in Russia. I'm sure that's their main audience. I'm sure that's their main focus. I don't know how big NA is compared to the other audience. I don't know how much money comes from us. I don't know what they think of us or anything. But like I said, it's interesting to note that there hasn't been a whole lot of two-way communication recently. Like, they haven't even posted one of their dev QA things, I think, since February, March.
Oh, wow.
Because they had the one in late last year, which I wrote a fucking essay on. And then they had another somewhat smaller one earlier this year. It may not have actually even been that. It may have just been posting the like answers to FAQs rather than an open Q&A. I can't recall. But yeah, just interesting. You know, they're making a lot of these changes and then also not really communicating a lot with it. That being said, actually, here's a positive on the mention of them talking about this update. It says, as part of the next update, which is going to occur later this month. So if we assume that it's not a translation error, it has been confirmed that within the month of August, or perhaps, depending on the translation error, within the next 30 days, we're going to be getting the next update. So hopefully that includes you know, either like the new wheels or the new Jenny or info or the new battle pass or whatnot. But seems to me like within the next couple of weeks, next week or so even maybe, there will be that update to Crosscrowns and then hopefully some other new stuff. So that'd be cool. Because new content is always cool, other than when it's extremely unbalanced, but I can't fathom a generator or a wheel being like actually busted.
That's what they want you to think.
I mean, big rams are pretty fucking close to it, and even then, it's not like big rams are the make or break for things ever, you know? It's just that, like, they're harder to kill and faster than other legs. It's not, you know.
You see this new secret wheel. Not gonna just be super OP.
Well, like, it is a frontal wheel, so it does, like, make a very big difference for, like, the size and shape of the builds you can make. Like, you can have a build that's literally only as wide as the cabin now. So,
okay.
Because you don't need to have wheels off to the side, right? You can have wheels in front and back, so.
That's true, that's true. They do sound.
Yeah, well, apparently the original perk light system was I think only with energy weapons. It's very dumb. It doesn't even make any sense. So that isn't as cool. But the wheels in general are built. Like, even look at the low clearance wheels. Like, I made like fucking 3 hours of video about them because they're unique and they do something interesting that others don't. So like, I'm sure people get a lot of utility out of the wheels, even if their perk is complete like garbo. And like I said, I think it's difficult for them to have movement parts be completely OP or generators. Like, they already have, like, people have already pointed out that, like, if, like, what the expected values could be if they keep the formula between a volatile and a stable, like, generator as per, like, how the Ampere and the P1 charger stats are related to each other. Or how the, you know, the Apollo stats are compared to the gas gen. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issues with the generator. I can't imagine there being any issues with the wheel other than it being potentially underwhelming. I don't even remember what the perk is, so I don't even think it's like a plus damage or anything. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think it's just a utility perk. Normally it's just mostly the weapons that are broken, right? Nests were a problem, Annihilators were apparently a problem, though we weren't there for that season. I don't even think we really had any problems with anything other than Doomsday Car Battle Pass. Maybe Worlds? But they haven't even been nerfed either, so if they were a problem, then they're still, you know, the exact same amount of problem.
The first one that comes to mind is the nest and the wedges. You know, wedging Battle Pass.
Well, the wedge wasn't part of the Battle Pass, right?
Yeah.
The Kaiju was a bit of a tyrant, although it's also kind of been nested to a certain degree. I don't think it's useless. Like I said, I mean, I do still have the trial to deal with it eventually, but it's definitely been dethroned rather heavily.
Yeah, well, like, even that wasn't too bad compared to, like, the nests.
Yeah, nests, I've literally not seen anybody die to since then.
So,
like, even the bots that had it in present heist didn't fucking kill anybody with it. They killed them with their cannons.
yep.
With flutes. Like, yeah, nests are horrible. And they're still so expensive, which is even the crazier part. People are paying like more money than a regular epic item for the Ness, which is arguably not only the worst epic, but possibly just the worst weapon in the game.
Gotta get the fuse Ness.
Can you imagine somebody who like went all in on them when they first came out and fused them? Pain,
Rip.
suffering.
Yeah, it's gonna be a yikes stream for that.
I will say too, like there have been some changes that haven't been too bad, like that are even just system changes that are not, you know, bad. Like you look at the changes to the veteran containers, like the implementation of them within the last year was obviously cool because prestiging otherwise did nothing. The change to upgrade stabilizers in my eyes was very cool. Being able to reduce the randomness of upgrades is very cool. Lots of people are still angry. Like there's like a thread once every month or so about people being extremely angry that they didn't get the roll they wanted after they rolled like 4 or 5 times in a row. It's like, well, that's kind of how probability works, yeah.
Yikes.
But people are goofy goofers, I guess. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
not a whole lot more to say about it. Yeah, my biggest complaints for like balancing have just been like basically reducing energy availability. So making Kaiju take an additional one, making builds that require reload booster require an additional energy, that kind of stuff. But I haven't had any complaints about like, oh, they nerfed the sledgehammer too much or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, their good changes have been good. I'll give them that.
Alright. Well, we are over the 1 hour mark for the stream. Nobody's asking any questions here on Reddit, so either this video was redundant and somebody made another one and released it while I wasn't paying attention, or people just don't want to watch a video on it when there's a forum thread about it, or whatever other reason. But hey, at least I haven't had anybody saying what I've said so far isn't clear, so that's a big one.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I think I've seen Rex Kibble before. That is Colada and Greasy Fat James's clan, DET1. And this dude's a level 7 air power score 7,000. So I think they might have a new member.
Yeah, their name doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even a name with numbers at the end like yours is. So it couldn't have been somebody who got a name change, because they add the numbers at the end now. It may have been somebody's Smurf account or something, but it's not like it's not one of them that changed names on that account.
Yeah.
That we know of. So.
Interesting.
It would be kind of cool if we got some sort of explanation to, like, about Devs, what is you doing?
Yeah, it would be nice, but at least going off of whatever their Wolverine status has been like, don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, well, and like there was the tonnage changes that were planned that I don't think I haven't heard anything about it. At least I don't know if they're still working on it or what. The wedge exploit fix, like things people seemed actually interested in, they ever got around to. I don't know. Oh, also
maybe
some people were saying
these new changes were in the works before we joined, So like a year from now, the wedge will be fixed because that's in rotation then.
It's just a huge backlog. They're just
Yeah.
always a year behind what the community wants. Like, well, shit,
It
guys,
could
we
be.
would buff the kaiju, but according to the playtest notes from last year when we were testing it internally, people felt like after about a month it was still a menace. So I have to get.
Yeah.
Haven't had anybody mention nests yet. We did Control F and didn't find anything. So.
Like all I'm saying could be an option. Got that backlog.
Yeah, I sure hope no game's running off of a 1 year backlog. Well, I know for a fact fucking Cyberpunk is definitely working on a backlog of more than me. But I like to think any good modern games, basically just games that I play. Hashtag bias. I don't think any of it, like none of the games we play seem to be not taking into account feedback relatively quickly, you know?
Yeah. Like to be fair, the IO went through a real, like I play it, went through a real rough patch, but it's getting a lot better now, so. Maybe the Crossout will go through it and then be like, communication is what we need, and then all problems will be solved.
I mean, that's literally why I want to be a communication, or community manager, is because I feel communication for most game companies is pretty bad.
It's could be a lot better, that's for sure.
What? So last night I did get my gunner specialization. Actually, it was pretty good. I kind of regret not streaming it, but at the same time, I was on from like 10 p.m. until 9 a.m. So it was a disgusting, like gorge of division, and it's probably better off that nobody knows about it. But in any case, I finished all the specialization challenge things, field research for the gunner. So I now have that. I also have, not only did I craft a very high tier machine gun, which has a slow fire rate and a large magazine and high stability, which is fucking amazing for me being able to suppress enemies. I also found a backpack, actually I crafted a backpack, which gives, so you remember how there's named items which have like they have the perfect talent, so they give you an extra 20% or whatever, right?
Sure.
So like Emiline's guard, the P90,
Oh, okay.
it gives you the, like a guaranteed, like talent that you can't change, and then the talent is stronger than the normal talent that you can roll or get on other items. So I also made a armor vest, and it happened to craft a named one, which is great because I got perfectly braced, which increases weapon handling while in cover. So that gives my LMGs, as well as anything else I use while I equip it, but basically just the LMGs are the important one. It gives like plus 50% reload speed, stability, accuracy, etc., which is pretty fucking hot. Then I found another LMG which had a extremely high fire rate and low magazine size, so it worked with another item I got that I wanted to muck around with, which gave that the talent for it was you get faster reloads, or faster rate of fire and higher weapon damage for a few seconds after reloading. So I basically now have a suppress, like an LMG that's slow fire rate, high damage, good for suppressing enemies. And then I have another one which is just an absolute fucking bullet hose, which is great. And then I also got a SMG, which you may recall, the best SMG in my eyes, or at least the ones I've seen so far, the PP19, which is the lower fire rate and higher magazine size than the P90, which is again meaning it's like short reload, high damage output time, and good for suppressing. I got that, and it happened to roll the perk where or as you may recall, SMGs are like kind of the critical hit weapons in the game, where for every half second of firing, it gains more critical hit chance. So I now have a build focused on like spray praying with the SMGs. I have a build which is focused on suppressing enemies with the big gun, and then like committing war crimes against them. And then I have another build which is just basically like hosing everything to death with extreme amounts of LMG bullets. So very cool.
Next division session's gonna be like, hello, got it.
I mean, as if I wasn't to begin with.
No, I'm excited to see it. It sounds like it's quite a bit of fun.
It's great, yeah. I will admit.
So you got any more stuff you got unlocked with that then, or?
Well, I mean, I have the 2 other specializations. Unfortunately, both of them require me going to the island that I had to do for the gunner one, and I had to go through that gunner island about over the course of like 2 hours, because I needed to I needed to kill a specific boss a specific way. So if I didn't do it, I had to reset the area, and I did that 10 or so times. And then I also had to kill enemies with mounted machine guns on the island, and I killed all but one I needed, so I ran through it a second time on lower difficulty, but I went on story difficulty, and that didn't count, so then I had to run through it again a third time on normal difficulty, and now I need to go back for both of the other specialization field research I have. So
Wowie, what a time. Best of luck.
Yeah. In any case, that is raids for today. If I had been smart to equip my flight, that also would have been the bonus EXP boost for today. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that concludes our play session for today, as well as my stream/tirade, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Not feeling Division-y tonight, I see.
I want to play Divisions.
Nothing other than you stopping. I mean, make the decisions, you know? But, I mean, you know where I stand on it in any case. Like, I'm going to go hop and go do Division after this. So.
It's tempting. No, I probably shouldn't.
Yes, it is.
It's okay, I'm telling myself that as well.
Just stop being an adult, and then you don't have to worry about adult things. Easy.
But then I want to be an adult.
Well, what do you even have to do today? Is it like chore stuff?
No, I'm done for today. But like, I'd only be on for like till 8:30ish. So I don't know how much I've done in an hour, and I still have to eat.
Definitely enough. I mean, I'm down to climb. If you're saying, oh, I'm only free for an hour, I'm gonna say I'll take that hour. But like, if you're worried about the slippery slope, and then it's 10 p.m. and there's bags under your eyes, you gotta get ready for work tomorrow, and you still haven't eaten. I mean, you know, don't let me get in your way. I'm just saying, if if you're offering an hour of playing Division, I'll play Division per hour.
Like, when you put it that way, I'm good till 8:30 with that.
Oh boy. I mean, you tell me. We could also just play. We could also just stick on Crossout, or maybe you just want to go and watch TV on Netflix too. I'm not here to.
I really want to play Division. It's cool.
Sounds to me like we should opt to Division, doesn't it?
It's starting to, yeah.
All right. Well, I will.
I had to take a guess.
I will stop this stream.